World War II was a global conflict that lasted from 1939 to 1945. It was the deadliest and most widespread war in history, involving over 30 countries. The major players were the Allies, led by the United States, the Soviet Union, and the United Kingdom, and the Axis, spearheaded by Germany, Italy, and Japan. The war began on September 1, 1939, with Germany's invasion of Poland. This act of aggression triggered a series of events that dragged the entire world into conflict. The sheer scale of the war was unprecedented, affecting millions of lives across multiple continents. As we delve into this epic saga, we'll uncover the reasons behind the war, the key players, and the critical moments that define this era. So let's embark on this journey through time to explore the epic saga of World War II. The origins of World War II can be traced back to the Treaty of Versailles, signed at the end of World War I. This treaty imposed harsh penalties on Germany, creating economic hardship and national resentment. Adolf Hitler, the charismatic leader of the Nazi Party, capitalized on this discontent to rise to power. On September 1, 1939, Hitler made his first bold move by invading Poland. This invasion was swift and brutal, marking the beginning of the war. The strategy used by Germany was known as Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War. Poland fell within weeks, and Britain and France declared war on Germany in response. Hitler aimed to dominate Europe and create a German empire. The early days of the war saw Germany's aggressive expansion across Europe, with country after country falling under Nazi control. These initial events set the tone for a war that would be fought on an unprecedented scale. Germany's Blitzkrieg strategy was a game-changer in the early years of World War II. It relied on speed, surprise, and the combination of air and ground forces to achieve quick victories. In April 1940, Germany invaded Denmark and Norway, swiftly overcoming their defenses. By May, the Blitzkrieg was unleashed on Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. The Wehrmacht moved with frightening efficiency, using tanks, aircraft, and infantry in a coordinated assault. One of the most significant moments in this campaign was the fall of France in June 1940. Despite having a large and well-equipped army, France was unable to withstand the German onslaught. Within 6 weeks, Paris was occupied, and France was forced to sign an armistice. The rapid success of Germany's Blitzkrieg had a profound impact on the war. The fall of Europe left Britain isolated and vulnerable, facing the prospect of invasion. The United Kingdom played a crucial role in World War II, standing as a bastion of resistance against the Axis powers. After the fall of France, Britain was left to face Nazi Germany alone. Prime Minister Winston Churchill, known for his indomitable spirit and stirring speeches, rallied the British people. One of Britain's most significant contributions to the war effort was its air defense during the Battle of Britain. In the summer and autumn of 1940, the Royal Air Force faced off against the German Luftwaffe in a series of intense aerial battles. Despite being outnumbered, the RAF's skilled pilots and effective use of radar technology managed to thwart Germany's plans to gain air superiority. This victory prevented a German invasion and marked a turning point in the war. The codebreakers at Bletchley Park, led by Alan Turing, succeeded in cracking the German Enigma code. This breakthrough allowed the Allies to intercept and decipher German military communications, giving them a significant strategic advantage. The United States initially adopted a policy of neutrality, but this stance changed dramatically on December 7, 1941. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor shocked the nation and propelled the United States into the war. President Franklin D. Roosevelt described the day as a date which will live in infamy. America's entry brought tremendous resources and manpower to the Allied cause. The U.S. became the arsenal of democracy, providing weapons and supplies to its allies. The U.S. military played a crucial role in key operations across the globe. In the European theater, American forces participated in the D-Day landings in Normandy. In the Pacific theater, the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps engaged in fierce battles against Japanese forces. The use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki forced Japan to surrender, ending the war. The Soviet Union, under the leadership of Joseph Stalin, played a pivotal role in the defeat of Nazi Germany. Initially, the Soviet Union signed a non-aggression pact with Germany in 1939, which allowed both nations to expand their territories without interference. However, this uneasy alliance was shattered on June 22, 1941, when Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, a massive invasion of the Soviet Union. The invasion caught the Soviets off guard, and the initial stages saw significant German advances. The harsh winter, coupled with fierce Soviet resistance, began to stall the German advance. One of the most significant turning points of the war was the Battle of Stalingrad, fought between August 1942 and February 1943. The Soviet Red Army encircled and defeated the German Sixth Army, marking the first major defeat for Hitler's forces. The Soviets continued their relentless push westward, liberating Eastern Europe from Nazi control. The fall of Berlin in May 1945 marked the end of the war in Europe. The Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, undertook several significant operations during World War II. Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union, was one of the largest and most ambitious military campaigns in history. It aimed to conquer the Soviet territories and secure vital resources for the German war machine. Another notable operation was the invasion of France, known as the Battle of France, which began in May 1940. The German strategy involved bypassing the heavily fortified Maginot Line by invading through the Ardennes forest. In the Pacific theater, Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor was a bold and audacious operation intended to cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet and secure Japanese dominance in the region. The attack was meticulously planned and executed, resulting in significant damage to American naval assets. Another critical Japanese operation was the Battle of Midway in June 1942. The resulting American victory was a turning point in the Pacific War, shifting the balance of power in favor of the Allies. The Allied forces undertook key battles pivotal in turning the tide of World War II. One significant battle was El Alamein in North Africa, October to November 1942. Led by General Bernard Montgomery, the Allies defeated the German Afrika Korps. Another critical battle was the Normandy invasion, D-Day, June 6, 1944. Over 156,000 Allied troops landed on Normandy beaches. Despite fierce resistance, the Allies established a foothold in Europe. In the Pacific, the Battle of Guadalcanal was a turning point. The Allied victory halted Japanese expansion and began reclaiming Pacific territories. World War II had a profound and devastating impact on civilians. The war was characterized by widespread destruction, displacement, and loss of life on an unprecedented scale. Cities across Europe and Asia were heavily bombed, leading to the destruction of homes, infrastructure, and cultural landmarks. One of the most tragic aspects of the war was the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany. Concentration camps and extermination camps were established across occupied Europe, where millions of Jews, along with other persecuted groups, were murdered. In addition to the horrors of the Holocaust, many civilians were subjected to forced labor, deportation, and internment. The war also saw the use of atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, resulting in immense civilian casualties and long-lasting radiation effects. The trauma experienced by survivors, the loss of loved ones, and the disruption of communities had long-lasting effects. The lessons learned from the war continue to shape our world today, emphasizing the importance of peace and cooperation. The end of World War II came with the unconditional surrender of the Axis powers. In Europe, the war concluded on May 8, 1945, known as Victory in Europe, or VE Day. The Allies had successfully pushed into Germany from both the east and west, meeting in Berlin. The suicide of Adolf Hitler on April 30, 1945, marked the collapse of Nazi leadership, hastening Germany's surrender. In the Pacific, the war ended on August 15, 1945, following the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan announced its surrender, which was formally signed on September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. The aftermath of World War II saw significant geopolitical changes. Europe was left in ruins, requiring extensive rebuilding through initiatives like the Marshall Plan. The war also led to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers, setting the stage for the Cold War. The legacy of World War II is vast and far-reaching. It reshaped the political, social, and economic landscape of the world. The war demonstrated the devastating power of modern warfare and the importance of international cooperation to maintain peace. One of the most significant legacies of the war is the continued remembrance and education about the Holocaust. The atrocities committed during this period serve as a reminder of the dangers of hatred, bigotry, and totalitarianism. World War II also brought about significant technological and medical advancements. The war accelerated the development of radar, jet engines, and nuclear technology. The cultural impact of World War II is evident in literature, films, and art. The war's legacy is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome even the darkest of times, reminding us of the value of peace and the cost of conflict.